Hey there, Mr. Terry. I'm your high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher Acts video. All right, we've got another meme collection from Drew Durnil to check out. This video is called Every Proposed U.S. State Ever. All right, original videos down below. Let's check out some memes. All right, guys, thanks for subbing to the channel and liking this video. I'm in algorithm hell right now, but I hope you're enjoying the videos.
Lightning strike density map. Didn't even realize certain places get hit more than others. Well, I mean, physical objects, yes, the taller stuff gets hit. But what's interesting about this map is some of the places that see lightning the most are also some of the flattest states we have. Obviously, there's way more factors in play here, but I just thought that was kind of a coincidence. So
well, there's so many storms that happen in the southeast. Places like Florida have thunderstorms literally every day, so I guess that would make sense.
Flattest states we have. Obviously, there's way more factors in play here.
They're like clockwork too. It's just exact same time of day.
As a Californian myself,
like every
I rarely
afternoon
see lightning here. Many squared kilometers in this entire state won't see a single lightning strike for the entire year. And this pattern actually,
other than earthquakes, Drew is a Southern California boy. He's pretty much got perfect weather.
Continues all the way through Oregon and up to Washington. And that's not how things go in the Northeast. They're experiencing a lot more on average, but still not that high compared to the rest of the list.
There seem like a lot more coastal
places deeper in, like in Ohio. Maryland's getting hit quite a bit, and so is this part of West Virginia. If you're thinking cities with a lot of skyscrapers would be hit more often, Chicago's not necessarily showing up.
Well, it's not like it's a magnet.
Look at Oklahoma and Kansas, very flat states, but they're getting hit quite a bit. I've heard of
Tornado Alley, right?
Tornado Alley, but I guess there's a lightning strike alley as well. It's not even an alley, it's just like a roundabout. I knew other people got more lightning where they lived, but I didn't realize it was like everywhere else had more lightning compared to the West Coast. Is this just based on cloud to ground strikes? Yes, cloud to ground only. It's actually kind of incredible that we just have so much of this information. Tennis court density map.
Okay, yeah, we'll see with that. Yeah, climate is a really kind of interesting. I don't know a lot about the lightning stuff, though, but I wonder what effect it's had on history. Well, there's the famous story of Martin Luther, where he basically pledged himself to God that he would drop out of law school and become a monk if he was saved from a lightning storm, and that really changed history.
I enjoy tennis, even though I've only ever played it like 2 times, but clearly certain parts of the world enjoy it more than others.
For 1 year.
Specifically England, here in Great Britain.
So I'm kind of a pro.
Severe lack of them in Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland, on the other hand. I mean, this could be just because there's a lot more mountainous terrain, but then again, why would that stop them from building tennis courts? I don't know. Obviously, cities are going to have more tennis courts than others, so Dublin and Ireland is a perfect example of that. But fans of this sport extend all the way.
It seems like it's more just like population density than anything. Now we need a map of tennis court oaths.
Throughout Western
French
Europe,
Revolution
really see it in the lowlands in Western Germany. Look at the drop off.
France and Spain love
Germany. Okay, so clearly, well, this map makes it very obvious. The former communist bloc, they weren't enjoying tennis very much.
Hate
that's Poland, that's Romania, that's formerly.
Because it's one-on-one. It's like there's no collectivity. Of course, communists are going to hate tennis.
Yugoslavia, Bulgaria. The only outlier
it's like the most capitalist sport there is behind golf.
They seem to have a lot of tennis courts. Interesting how there's so much more tennis along the coast here. Is anyone else noticing that theme?
I wonder if it's like, that's actually an interesting thought too. Because there's not necessarily just like, I mean, there's like, okay, Portugal, they have port cities. That's going to be a big deal. Same with Spain. But you wonder, just because there's a lot of like hotels that are on coasts and so many hotels have tennis courts, I think that would be a relationship.
There's so much more tennis along the coast here. Is anyone else noticing that theme? I started to recognize that slightly with Ireland, at least along the east coast. There's obviously indoor tennis courts, but I feel like all of us only usually ever see outdoor.
That's for French Revolution.
Oh, look, there's a tennis court. You chalk a lot of this map up to a population density thing. I'm looking at Moscow, Helsinki, Stockholm. Look at these Spanish islands, though, completely covered in tennis courts.
That's the other thing, too. Those are resort islands. They're going to be full of tennis courts. Rich people go play tennis on their, I guess they want some exercise on their, vacations. But like, I like tennis, but when I'm on a vacation, I'm not going to play tennis.
Sports. On the opposite side of the spectrum, look how there's literally none here in Africa or the Middle East, just parts here in Turkey. Funny enough, even though that map didn't reflect it, tennis is apparently most popular in Spain, but these might just be fans
Rafael
of the sport.
Nadal,
they're
right?
not playing. The world map, according to this Chinese hotel lobby. China, like America, maybe is struggling with geography as well, because I don't know how they came up with this. Yes, China connected to Australia. I realize hotels and air.
Okay. I had to look a lot closer at this, but what is going with Australia there? They just replaced like India with Australia.
Ports, they like to make like artistic maps like this, but where is the art? I don't even think this was supposed to be artistic. This is just to show like time differences maybe. I mean, I'm seeing like weird clocks on the continents. This is so horrific. Whoever they got to do this, they need to be fired immediately. One of the only two countries mentioned on the map besides the continents are the USA and, well, obviously China. Everything else is maybe just giant land masses to them. It's Cold
Where's
War 2.0,
India?
I guess. It honestly looks like they're taking a crap on Australia, and they forgot to include Tasmania.
Where's India?
They didn't forget New Zealand, like so many other maps. Talk about a dub. A guide to popular tourist scams. I wish I would have read this 2 years ago.
Am I going crazy?
The friendship bracelet. Someone will approach you and offer a friendship bracelet. Regardless of what you say, they will take your wrist and begin making it. They then, of course, will ask for payment afterwards. Sometimes this scam can be used to pickpocket you at the same time while you're distracted. Here's the rose for your girlfriend scam. A man will approach you while you're with your girlfriend and offer a rose. Oh, I know this scam. This is used everywhere. And the thing is, it works so well too. Because you have to tell them no, and then you look like a bad boyfriend. But if you take the flower, it's going to be like $50. The found ring scam. A woman
that is brilliant. You're with a girl walking somewhere. And yes, sorry, single forever folks, but yes. Can you understand this though? Yeah, you're sitting there, you're standing there, you're walking there with your girlfriend. Dude with flowers walks up. It's like a win-win situation for it. Again, because if you don't buy the flower and you're in front of your girlfriend's gonna be like, what? You know, but if you do, you look good and then you get money. So it's like, it's so much pressure on the guy.
Will drop a ring right in front of you and ask if you dropped it. When you say no, she will inspect the ring and prove to you that it's real gold. It isn't. She'll then offer to sell it to you for a much, much higher price than it's worth. Why would anyone fall for that? So that scam's really only popular in Paris. The friendship bracelet scam can be found in Paris, Rome, Barcelona, and Cairo. Like I said, I've seen the rose
You just want to put pressure on the people.
Literally
that's the
everywhere.
thing.
Just put the whole world here. There's also the thrown baby scam. A woman will walk up to you and throw her baby, usually a doll, into your arms. While you're in shock, your hands are occupied holding the baby. Her accomplices will go through your pockets or bags. I don't care if it's a real baby. I'm gonna yeet that thing out of here. Street game.
Drew's up to something there. He's just gonna go full Spartan mode and just yeet it. Find a mountain.
Games. Man will perform a game such as guessing which cup a ball is in. Then
yeah,
these are by someone
crap.
pretending to be an audience member. Okay, that makes sense. That's in Paris and London. The dropped wallet. Oh no.
So the ball will be stuck in the top of the cup. They have it. It's rigged. Just so you know. Don't do the mixing up the cup trick.
This can only be found in Rome and Ukraine. Okay, I thought this was going to be a Romanian joke. An empty wallet looks as though it's been stolen, is dumped on the floor. Your instinct is to check your own wallet to make sure it's safe, and an onlooker will note that. Something I noticed is that pickpocketing is at a whole nother level in Europe. Like, they are really good. Usually you have to go to like a certain big festival or event here in the US to see like good pickpocketers. Not
These are actually pretty brilliant.
Stain on your jacket. Someone will purposely spill something. Oh, that's smart. Bird poop, ketchup. Then they'll help clean it. Of course, while they're cleaning it, they go through your pockets. This is mostly done in South America, in Argentina.
So don't make physical contact with anybody ever.
Brazil. The shoe shiner in Turkey. A man will drop his shoe brush right in front of you. When you pick it up for him, he will say thank you. He'll then start shining your shoes. While it might seem like a free gesture, he actually will demand money. This is done in, Istanbul. Finally, woman selling rosemary. An old woman will offer you a spring of rosemary, which is said to be a sign of friendship. So they pretty much just perform their services.
Okay, anything with magic, fortune telling, just immediate red flag. It is a bullcrap scam.
And force you to pay. That's like a common scam that I keep seeing here. Frickin' Rome needs to chill. And people wondered why I did not like Rome, the city, very much. Not that I saw any scams. It's just, Rome.
You know what? I had a complicated relationship with Rome. I loved Rome for the historical aspect, but not necessarily like the city aspect. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's got the cool sights and stuff, but it's kind of chaotic.
Supposed to use flag color combinations. So obviously red, white, and blue is going to be the biggest one. And that's correct according to this post. There's Taiwan, there's Norway, there's Chile, there's North Korea, there's Laos, there's obviously all
red, white, blue just looks good because they're just opposite colors that way. And it provides a lot of contrast. You can use the white to kind of break it up. I mean, it makes
Jack
sense.
states, Union Jack countries, Serbia, Croatia, obviously the USA, Luxembourg, Cuba, South Korea, Liberia. I said Libya there. An easy one is red and white. Obviously, there's a ton of just red and white flags. The Swiss, Turkey, Tunisia, Qatar, Canada, Singapore, Japan, Georgia. But this one, this graph gets a little bit more interesting. Red, white, and green.
We do just need some more colors though. I know that like having 3 colors is kind of the standard. If you get more than that as dominant colors, it's too busy. If you know about my flag policy, my whole thing is good flags are simple, and they need to be simple enough that an elementary school kid could make it and it wouldn't look bad.
Obviously, a big one here, Mexico and Italy, Belarus, Madagascar. There's red,
It's also
green,
a great way to
and yellow.
indoctrinate
These
the
are a lot of
kids so they can
African
make
nations
flags.
here. Mali, Benin, Lithuania, which is not African, but finally,
A lot of Africa
white,
with the green.
and black. This is Middle East usually. Egypt, Syria, Afghanistan. There is some
Arab
African
countries.
places, though. I wish there was.
By the way, you're going to see green with Arab countries because it's kind of like seen as like the color for Islam, which is also why you'll see a lot of them with the crescent moons. That's also a symbol in Islam.
More on
If you
this
didn't
list.
know.
Obviously, another big color combination on flags is blue and white. You got Greece and Somalia and Finland. And then, of course, South Africa, which pretty much just has all
many.
the colors.
Too many.
The world's biggest
That's too many.
exporters, but it's only of a single product or specific products in the same industry. Got some interesting resources out of Bulgaria and Sweden, then Portugal with this quartz, Finland here with copper, and then Czechia with non-optical microscopes. Each one of these countries holds the #1 position in these products, by the way. Poland with wood crates. That's just
The problem, though, wood crates, but the problem is if your economy is so reliant on one thing, you are going to be in trouble. Saudi Arabia is in this panic right now because they don't really have a lot of natural resources other than oil. And as oil becomes decreasing and decreasing in its usage, they're going to have problems. And they're starting to try to think about it and trying to innovate other things, but you can't be a single item economy.
Denmark with enzymes, Belgium with frozen vegetables, and Austria with flavored water. Turkey raw iron bars, and Italy with unglazed ceramics.
They don't know how to glaze.
Ukraine seed oil.
They send it
Spain
somewhere
with
else.
pig meat, and Netherlands with photolab equipment. Great Britain hard liquor. Of course, France with wine. Ireland
Makes sense.
vaccines, and then we have Switzerland.
Wow. Ireland makes
always
vaccines?
throws me off. Of course, they got all that Swiss gold. Where do they get all that gold from?
The no-no Germans, as Drew calls them.
I wondered. Oh, look, Germany's next. Germany, #1, cars. But finally, #1 on this list, Norway, with all this gas. 154 billion.
They actually fart a lot in Norway.
Wonder the Norwegians are so rich up there. So Red Bull is now flavored water. Forgot that Red Bull is technically from Austria. Spain is also the world's largest exporter of
Red Bull
olive oil
Salzburg.
by very large margin. Which world currency has been in use the longest? I never even considered this. So we can assume the US dollar is probably not going to be #1. Just
Thing is with like Europe now, so many of them could have, but then going to the euro kind of mess with that. I actually don't know. Let's
because
see.
the US dollar hasn't
Dollar
been around.
could be one of them,
Starting off
right?
the list in 25, we have the Indian rupee, but that started in 1947. So the US dollar will.
Okay, so that's okay. Because so many countries got independence in the last 100 years or so, like in India, who, again, 1947 is when India got its independence from Britain. That's why I was thinking that. Then plus trade unions like the EU. This is where, again, I was wondering, is it going to be the United States? Russia? Rubles?
Yes, end up being on the list, but it probably won't be #1. In 24, the Korean won. I didn't realize they both have that in North Korea and South Korea. I think it has like...
They don't have money in North
different
Korea.
pictures on it, though. Then there's Paraguay and Nepal's currency, Turkey and North Cyprus. Of course, the nation needed to be independent first for it to have its own currency. Sometimes the nation could have been independent for a while, but they
Mongol money? Okay. Yeah, I got to get some Mongol money. Some money with like Genghis on it? Holy crap.
start using this currency. 1925 for Mongolia. Poland here in 18th place, starting out with this currency in 1924. Cape Verde in 17th place. Didn't expect to see them. It's an interesting looking currency. Is that the Olympics on it? No, that's just 1,000. Nicaragua and Thailand. Also interesting to see which currencies are used by more than just one country. Like India and Bhutan. That was interesting starting off this list. Here's Nicaragua, Thailand, Costa Rica. Something to keep in mind though, in a lot of these places you still can use US dollars. Not that that really has anything to do with this post here, but we've got
dollars
Macau
are very...
in 13th place. Also,
a lot of places like to use dollar because dollar, I mean, I know they had inflation. There's inflation here and there, but it's seen as pretty steady. You got a country like Argentina and their new regime actually wants to go to the dollar.
Greenland, the Faroe Islands, and Denmark, 1875. Oh, they're kroners. Japanese yen being rolled out in 1871, same year that Germany became a nation.
Going to the euros.
Canada in 1858, at Canadian dollar. Oh, wow, we're in 10th place here. So maybe the U.S. is going to be kind of higher up on this list. We've got the Swiss franc in 1850.
Francs would make sense. The Swiss do their own thing. We know that's just literally the definition of Switzerland. Their characters. We do our own thing. It should be on their money.
Can Republic go? 1844, Colombia and Egypt. Egypt, of course, uses a pound similar to Britain, and most Latin American nations use the peso.
Colonized by Britain, so there you go.
Or also a weight. In 5th place, the Falkland Islands. Falkland Islands pounds. Well, there you go. Argentina can't have this. They say pound, not peso. Number 4.
Ooh, that's harsh. Sorry, Argentines, for that one. Using the Falkland pound. I mean, they voted. They overwhelmingly wanted to be part of Britain.
Or Haiti, one of the first independent countries after the U.S. Well, the first independent country after the
That's actually really cool. Post-Haitian Revolution, getting their own money. Go Haiti.
Finally, the US dollar, they ended up making it in third, started in 1792.
Okay. So
yeah, they ended up making it way higher in this list than I expected.
I'm thinking Russia's up here now,
in
though.
second place in 1214. They're still using this?
Ooh, 1200s for the Serbs here?
Siberia in second.
So even back when they were like Ottoman, they had their own thing. Dude, look at that. That looks so ancient looking. That looks like the early ancient Roman coins when they first got to Christianity.
In 1214, they're still using this? Wonder how inflation has impacted that. And number one, we of course have the pound sterling in the UK. Started at 800. This list is really just between Serbia and the UK because all these other ones are not that old, like compared to the rest of history. This is amazing though. It has been continuously in use.
Where is Russia on this? Is Russia? Did Russia mess around with that from when they were the Russian Empire and then when they're in the Soviet Union? Did they have a different money system?
He's kind of make a reference to weight as the pound here. It's been around for so long. There's other
any Russian
weight for
money
too. Surprisingly, the U.S. is third considering how young of a country it is. And I was really hoping we'd see my
imperialism screwed all that up.
Nothing better than that Vietnamese dong, baby. A map of the U.S. with almost every single
True.
currency. Nothing better than that Vietnamese dong.
Yeah. One Vietnamese dong is worth $0.00004.
A map of the U.S. with almost every single proposed state ever. And there's been a lot of them. So upstate New York, they want to just call the Empire. It sounds crazy, but I have heard that. Keep in mind, some of these territories don't just want to become states. They want...
Wait, why are some of these places... Why did they even want to be their own state? Let me look at this.
Keep in mind, some of the...
Okay, so like West Kansas, they wanted to be a thing. Okay, I see the panhandle of Oklahoma. I mean, that thing's weird anyways. It's a dumb design anyways. California, we've been hearing about that forever. The rest of California basically wants to get away from LA County. And then I didn't know there was a northern Utah and southern Utah split. That's interesting. Wyoming, why split something that barely even exists? The one that you hear about, is Oregon. Oregon, they don't like West Oregon. West Oregon and East Oregon are very different places. You ever heard of that, where the East Oregonians want to unify with Idaho because it kind of makes sense a lot more like culturally.
These territories don't just want to become states. They want
Wait. I just saw something. Did you guys see at the bottom of Illinois, Little Egypt? What is going on there? I need a history lesson. Let me know if I'm missing any other weird ones.
They want other states' territory as well. So Vermont dipping into the empire. Here's New Connecticut that would be landlocked in between New Hampshire and Vermont. Boston wants to become its own state away from Massachusetts. There's Essex. There's Newington. Some of these are probably from like really old times. Well, old for the U.S. Long Island to become its own state. North Jersey and South Jersey.
Yeah, see, that's something too. I used to live in New Jersey. North Jersey. It's basically, if you're in North Jersey, it's like you're a suburb. You're a wannabe New Yorker. And then you're the South. You're a wannabe like Philadelphian. It is like two states.
Marva, I've heard of this, the Unified Peninsula, because right now this peninsula is just a mess. Providence also wants to break away from Rhode Island. So some of these are just cities that aren't happy with their state. West Pennsylvania, also West Connecticut. Why are there so many references to Connecticut? Virginia and Londonburg. Funny enough, North Carolina and South Carolina have no proposed states. There's Dade that wants to be its own state, and then North Georgia, South Georgia. I can see where there'd be kind of the difference. Florida broken up into 4 different places. That'd be too many.
That's another thing too. South Florida, very different than the rest of Florida. You notice the places that are like swing states, you get a lot of that.
Be able to handle all that. Louisiana, just with one county, wanted to do its own thing. There's been many ideas to divide up Texas for a while. Nobody lives in this part of Texas. This is a weird way to do it though. Like why I'm just imagining the Texas Triangle where everybody lives. Some of these proposed states aren't even U.S. territory. These are Mexican
I've heard of
states.
that. As
Baja California, the Mexican state of Sonora, and Chihuahua. There's only about 10,000 people that actually live in the Oklahoma Panhandle. You just cannot be a state. I'm sorry. Remember that each state has to have 2 senators in the U.S. Congress. So that's why so many of these just would not work. You know how powerful these people's vote would be if just a state of 10,000 people got to vote for 2 senators? Maybe that's probably why they want to be there.
So that's such a reason why you can't split up states, is the political power would change so much.
I'm just going to divide up Illinois.
Forgotonia. Does that part of Illinois just feel like they're just ignored?
Meanwhile, Indiana's just chilling here. There we go. Give the up to Wisconsin. Sorry, Michigan. Damn, they just wiped North Carolina off the map. Wyoming wants to take this part from Nebraska. Why would we need a West Kansas?
Exactly.
McDonald, Montana's barely even recognizable. Again, in this part of the U.S., there's not that much people that live here, so they would have so much power in the Senate. Washington being named to Columbia. Have heard of the proposed northern part of California being...
Nobody even lives lives up there though. And just so you look on a map, one thing you will routinely probably underestimate is how much of north there is north of like San Francisco and the Bay Area. A lot of people like consider that like Northern California. It's really like Central California. When I play on Google Earth, that always blows my mind.
Called Jefferson.
I always think the Bay Area is way further north than it is.
I will say dividing up California makes the most sense. It is the most populated state. It also would be the 5th largest GDP in the world if it became its own independent nation. I think that makes more sense to divide up that state more than others. Like Texas at least has like its own history behind it because it was, you know, the way it joined the Union. It was a very unique way. It was its own independent country for a little bit there. Vegas, of course, wants to be its own state. A lot of these proposals could have been
the rest of Nevada would do that too. Nevada's a swing state. Be it outside of Vegas, and the politics are very different.
By like 3 dudes, to be quite honest. Oh, Hawaii's really never had like islands want to break away. That's
they just want to be independent.
Puerto Rico's U.S. territory,
and so does Puerto Rico.
U.S. state. They're just trying. Well, some people are trying to be a U.S. state here. Oh, and then of course we've always wanted Cuba as a U.S. state. Same goes for Guam and American Samoa. These are territories that could maybe one day become U.S. states. But I feel like the U.S. just
then you have to give them. Then it's voting. It's like the United States feels like it has this perfect relationship with places like Puerto Rico. It's like you don't get to vote, but you get to pay taxes.
Doesn't want to redesign their flag. They've got a nice 50 stars in the corner. Why throw 51 states in? It can be very difficult, I think. But once you get one new state and we have 51 states, then the floodgates can literally open up. I think we're gonna.
We can't go to 51. It's got to be a nice even number. Like if we add Puerto Rico, I'm cool with that. But somebody needs to lose their statehood.
Need a bigger flag.
Or let's just like unify the Dakotas. There doesn't need to be 2 Dakotas.
I'm having a hard time deciding which one of these are the most absurd. North Slope has like 5 people. Nevada without Las Vegas or Reno would be, no population. I keep thinking about that. I'm kind of a nothing ever happenser when it comes to more U.S. states. I feel like it's probably never going to happen. We're going to stick with 50 forever, maybe. Big thanks to my patrons.
Final thoughts. All right, that was super informative. Learned about lightning. We learned about states. We learned about flags. We learned about money. I just tricked you guys into learning here on your free time. What do you think about that? All right, thanks a lot. Thanks for liking the video. I'm going to thank the patrons and YouTube pledgers on the way out here, and we'll see y'all next time.